It is day 21 of a total municipal grid collapse. The acute phase of the disaster, the riots, the panicked looting, the burning of the commercial districts, is over. You have entered the chronic phase, the starvation phase. You reinforced your perimeter, you blacked out your windows, you scavenged the invisible calories. You were secure. But then, a critical localized failure occurs inside your fortress. Your child develops a severe respiratory infection and you do not have antibiotics, or your primary water filter cracks and you are out of replacement cartridges. A critical supply deficit forces your hand. You have to engage in the most volatile, dangerous human interaction in a post-collapse environment. You have to barter. When the power grid falls, the illusion of the civilized community falls with it. Your neighborhood block is no longer a friendly suburban subdivision. It is a fragmented, highly volatile map of competing microstates. Every house is a sovereign entity operating under the brutal, unforgiving laws of survival realism. There is no central authority. There is no 911. Every single interaction you have with another human being is a high-stakes diplomatic negotiation, constantly shadowed by the threat of asymmetric warfare. Before you even attempt to trade, you will likely face the alliance illusion. In the first week of a blackout, your neighbors will try to form a coalition. They will knock on doors, proposing a neighborhood watch to pool resources and build street barricades. Do not join them. In the micro-geopolitics of a collapse, a hasty alliance built on panic is a ticking bomb. When the pooled communal resources inevitably run dry, and they always do, the coalition will instantly fracture. But because you joined, the leaders of that neighborhood watch now know exactly what supplies you have, what your tactical skills are, and the exact layout of your home. When starvation sets in, the community defense force mutates into a localized raiding party. They will consume their own. You must maintain your absolute sovereignty. Stay invisible. But when you are forced to trade for a critical medical supply, the first fatal mistake you will make is falling into the charity trap. A neighbor, someone you have known for a decade, someone you used to invite to barbecues, knocks on your barricaded door. They are holding an empty cup. They look emaciated and they beg for a single ration of clean water for their child. Your human empathy screams at you to open the door and help them. If you hand them a bottle of water, you have just signed your family's death warrant. In the geopolitical landscape of a famine, charity is never viewed as kindness. It is instantly interpreted as a broadcast of immense surplus. In global politics, demonstrating unguarded resource wealth invites invasion. The exact same mathematics apply to your front porch. If you have enough clean water to simply give it away for free, the starving human brain instantly calculates that your house is the primary resource node on the entire block. The neighbor will thank you, walk away, and return 48 hours later, not with an empty cup, but with a desperate, armed coalition ready to breach your strike plates and take the rest. To survive the neighborhood, you must enforce a strict information quarantine. Never let anyone see your face clean, never let anyone hear you working, and never, ever engage in an unbalanced trade. If you must acquire those antibiotics, you must master the dark art of false scarcity manipulation. When you approach a neighboring microstate to negotiate, you cannot bargain from a position of visible strength. If you walk up to a neighbor and offer them 5 pristine cans of premium beef stew in exchange for a blister pack of amoxicillin, you have failed the psychological baseline. You just proved you have high-value, heavy calories to spare. You must project a manufactured aura of total, agonizing desperation. You must negotiate from the absolute bottom. You do not offer 5 cans of beef stew. You offer a crushed, half-empty box of stale crackers and a single, heavily dented can of cheap beans. And you must aggressively manipulate the other party into believing that trading these pathetic items means you and your family will literally starve tomorrow. You must hesitate. You must act as if parting with this dented can of beans is the hardest decision of your life. This psychological masking prevents the opposing party from calculating your true logistical capability. You are hiding your fortified stockpile behind a carefully constructed wall of manufactured misery. If they believe you are just as broken and empty-handed as they are, you cease to be a high-value target for a future raid. Once the terms of the exchange are agreed, you face the kinetic danger of the hostage exchange. Never, under any circumstances, conduct a physical trade at your own front door. Trading at your perimeter completely destroys your geographic anonymity. It allows the opposing party to visually map your physical defenses, identify the fatal funnels of your entryway, and calculate the exact kinetic effort required to kick your door in later that night. You must dictate the geometry of the exchange. You must use the neutral ground mechanic. Force the physical trade to occur in a geographically exposed, equidistant location. Choose the exact center of a massive empty intersection, or the middle of an abandoned, stripped-out parking lot. Predators rely on the cover of alleys and blind corners to execute a double cross or a sudden ambush during a trade. By forcing the interaction into a wide-open geographic space, you strip both parties of all tactical cover. It ensures mutually assured vulnerability, which heavily deters sudden violence. For high-value, life-or-death commodities like trauma medicine or ammunition, you must elevate your strategy to the blind drop. In a blind drop, you eliminate human-to-human contact entirely. You negotiate the terms through a closed, reinforced door or over a shortwave radio frequency. Then, you establish asynchronous dead drop locations. You leave your scavenged calories hidden inside a rusted, overturned dumpster in a specific alleyway. 4 hours later, they leave the antibiotics buried under a specific hollowed-out tree stump 2 blocks in the opposite direction. You do not simply walk up and take the supplies. You must establish an elevated, concealed overwatch position. You watch the drop zone through binoculars for 2 full hours to ensure the opposing party has not left a hidden sniper or a trailing element waiting to track you back to your stronghold. Only when you have mathematically confirmed the geometry is clear do you secure the asset and glide back to your perimeter. Barter in a collapsed city is not commerce. It is not a friendly neighborhood exchange. It is psychological warfare. In a grid-down world, your neighbors are no longer your friends. They are competing sovereign entities driven by the primal biological imperative to consume resources and survive. Master the micro-geopolitics of the block. Reject the alliance illusion. Enforce the information quarantine. Weaponize your perceived scarcity. Dictate the tactical geometry of every single exchange. Don't be a target.